kickoff as the homestanding Duke Blue Devils, undefeated in conference play, take on the Miami Hurricanes from Brooks Field at Wallace Wade Stadium in Durham, North Carolina. It's been a tumultuous week for the Canes. The five-time national champions suffered the worst loss in program history last Saturday, 58-0 to Clemson. Head coach Al Golden was relieved from his duties on Sunday, ending his 5-year run. Tight ends coach and running game coordinator Larry Scott was named interim coach for the rest of the season on Monday. And hello from Durham, Alan Bestwick with Coach Dan Hawkins. We'll have a lot of time to get into the broader issues surrounding the Miami coaching change as the game goes on. But for the players and this game tonight, what's its impact?
Well, they got to go out and have fun. They got to cut it loose. These guys got to remember why they play football. Obviously, the loss on the field, the loss of their coach, their loss of their quarterback. They just have some losses within their football family off the field. This group really needs to come together tonight and remember who they are. That guy right there is going to get them to cut it loose tonight.
Larry Scott, the interim coach for the rest of the season, a Sebring, Florida native in his third year on the Miami staff. Now, on the other sideline for Duke, they're in the middle of a terrific role for this program and contending to make another trip to the ACC championship game.
You've got diametrically opposed groups here. Obviously, coming off a 4-overtime win against Virginia Tech gives them the 6th win. You see right there the record they've had over the last 27 games. They're now bowl eligible. They're trying to compete for that conference crown. This group has done a nice job this year. David Cutcliffe, what a story for an institution that comes in, survives 5 losing seasons with great vision, great passion, and purpose.
And if they can win tonight, it would give the Blue Devils their first 7-1 start since the late 1930s. So an interesting matchup. Miami and Duke getting ready to go. And again, Coastal Division implications for the trip to the ACC championship game. And we'll see how it plays out when the night is over. Miami has won the coin toss. They have elected to receive. So we'll see the Canes on offense first, missing a key component to their normal offensive arsenal. That story in just a moment. First lined up and ready to go, the Duke kickoff specialist, Ross Martin, ready to boot it deep. And it's Mark Walton and Corn Elder, 1 and 2, back deep to receive for the Hurricanes.
I don't care who you have coaching the Hurricanes. These guys always got juice. You got to be careful in this kicking game because they got guys that can run.
Kick short, taken at the 12 by Walton. Cracked, and the ball's out, and picked up by Duke. Blue Devils have it out of bounds at the 15. There is a flag on the field. Walton was blasted by Alonzo Saxton.
Not the way the Hurricanes want to start. They need some positive things to go good for them early.
Number 34, the receiving team. Penalties decline. First down, Duke.
Watch the hit that is laid on here. Bang.
Had some time the last 2 days to spend at Duke's practices. They spend a lot of time on special teams, and this crew, David Cutcliffe doesn't want touchbacks. He wants you to hang it up deep and let you go get it and try to get him down inside the 25-yard line.
So Alonzo Saxton with the hit and the turnover, and now the stoppage of play before the snap. The ball spotted at the 15-yard line.
We had to get the back judge in the back.
Well, he had to go pick up the beanbag from where the ball was fumbled out. That's what it was. So here we go. Blue Devils off the turnover in plus territory at the 15-yard line going in. Their quarterback is Thomas Sirk, number 1. He'll throw on first down toward the end zone. And it's caught by the senior wide receiver, Max McCaffrey. Inside the 5 at the 3.
What a great play. Muhammad coming off that outside linebacker spot. Got in there and got him pressured. He still made a great throw.
Powell has the handoff. Grinding inside, but he'll be wrapped up there and will not get there. Chad Thomas, 9, makes the stop for the Hurricane defense.
Now, the other thing you got going on is obviously Miami runs a pro-style offense. Duke is a hurry-up group. So you've got that contrast in this game tonight as well.
Thomas Sirk, the redshirt junior from Florida, from Glen St. Mary, outside of Jacksonville. Met in the backfield. Penetration in the center of the line. And it was Jermaine Grace.
Yeah.
Got
Boy,
through.
Those guys bringing heat early on here. I think they're going to turn up the dial all the way in all three phases of this game. They brought pressure every single down, and I think that's going to trigger some emotions and get the Hurricanes playing fast and physical here early.
3rd and goal. You throw it here?
Well, I think you might be in a kick situation here, so give Thomas a chance to get out and run pass.
Cirk throws inside, fighting toward the goal line. Will he get there? No, he won't. Terrence Alls can't quite get to the goal line. It'll be 4th down at the 1.
Jawan Young made that tackle there, 51, the Mike linebacker. Really love the passion that these Hurricanes are playing with here early. You know, they have to go sudden change on that first kickoff, not what you expect, but they're battling right down here close to the goal line.
Quarterback change, number 12, Parker Boehm into the game. He's the short yardage guy for the Blue Devils. He's number 12. 4th and goal. He's got the ball. Does he have the touchdown? They're marking him shy of the goal line.
What a stop.
Over on downs.
What a stop. Hats off to Miami. On the road here, adversity all week, and on that kickoff return, Boehm comes in at 220. He's like stopping a fullback.
Watch 47 of Kamalu.
Great surge down inside. Good pad level. Look at the knockback inside.
Deion Bush there, number 2. So the ball goes over on downs. Now Miami right on top of their own goal line. And the keeper by the quarterback, Malik Rozier, number 12, who is one of the stories of this game as well. For that, we go down to the field and Allison Williams.
Yeah, guys, Malik Rozier making this start because Miami's quarterback, Brad Kaya, who leads this conference in passing yards, unable to even make the trip after suffering a concussion last week against Clemson. They felt it was in the best interest of his recovery not to travel with the team. Obviously, they will miss him on the field, but also they will miss his presence on the sideline, his leadership, and his ability to rally the guys.
All right, Allison, so there is Rozier with all the pressure on his shoulders to carry the Hurricane offense tonight. He handed that one off to Joseph Yearby, the sophomore running back, and he gets a few yards. Look at the numbers on Rozier, whose playing time for this season has amounted to mop-up time and then the second half and part of the second quarter against Clemson last week.
Really important. They run the ball well and keep the pressure off of Malik. Backed up in his own end zone, 3rd and 5. You got to be careful that you don't create the double negative and turn it over.
Tries to move the pocket under pressure, throws to the outside, wrestled for and caught by Herb Waters. He'll have the first down at the 20-yard line. And Rozier is down in the end zone.
They have struggled with pass protection all year long. Have been a great job in a lot of areas, but 3rd downs, not one of them, and then sacks, not one of them. Great strong hands by Herb Waters, also dinged up this week. Comes in second lead receiver on this squad. He's kind of landed on that shoulder.
So, if Rozier's the backup quarterback, there is the next man up. That is Vincent Testaverde, wearing the number made famous at Miami by his father, the sophomore who's walked on to the team after spending a year at Texas Tech, will be the next man in because Rozier will have to go out of the game for injury unless they spend the timeout, which they might well, though he's still down on the turf being looked at. So Larry Scott and his team facing even more adversity at the beginning of this game. Those of you watching Boise State defeat UNLV, just joining us here in Durham. Welcome to an ACC Coastal Division game. The Miami Hurricanes off a very tumultuous week, coming in to take on the 22nd ranked Duke Blue Devils. I'm Alan Bestrick. Dan Hawkins is alongside. Allison Williams is down at field level on the opening kickoff. Miami turned the ball over. Duke went for it on 4th down and 1 at the 1-yard line. Couldn't punch it in. Now, Miami's backup quarterback, Malik Rozier, was just knocked out of the game after taking a hit in his own end zone. And so the third-string quarterback is Vincent Testaverde for the minute. They're running out of the Wildcat, and that was just Joseph Yearby, who's been fighting with the ball. Rozier starting the game tonight because of the concussion suffered by Brad Kaya, the Miami quarterback, and last week lost to Clemson. And coming back into the game now, and we haven't even mentioned all the other circumstances that have surrounded this Hurricane team all week long.
What toughness by Malik coming back into this game after getting rocked a little bit.
Handoff inside, nice yardage here by Yearby. He'll have the first down across the 30.
Miami knew this had to be part of the formula tonight. Simple zone play, Yearby running tough. Guys coming off the ball, you're seeing a little bit of an energy from the Hurricanes. Obviously that defensive stop down on the goal line, and then the great 3rd down throw out to Herb Waters. Good showing by Miami early.
So they move the sticks, and a fresh set of downs at the 31-yard line. Again, coming near side is Yearby, fighting with a pack of black shirts surrounding him. He'll have about 9 before he's stopped by Devon Edwards. Yearby, the leading rusher on this Hurricane team, the sophomore from Miami Central.
Miami going to be very content to chew clock, run the ball, be methodical, don't take sacks, don't turn it over. Time of possession will be critical for them tonight.
Movement inside and whistles. There was contact there. Like Ramsey, 99 for Duke.
Offside, defense, 99. 5 yards, 2nd down.
So that will move the sticks. Actually, the penalty yardage will give the Hurricanes a first down.
Of course, Coach Cutcliffe comes into this game being an offensive wizard, but really this year's been the story of defense for the Blue Devils, and have done a great job in many categories, and that's how they've been winning these games.
Rozier throws near side, nice hands on the catch, and reaching out to grab that one and pull it in. The tight end David Njoku, 6'4", 244-pounder. He's a bruiser.
What strong hands, both of these catches we've seen here early on. Great examples of good strong hands, reaching, catching that ball out away from your body. And they got to make those plays for Malik Rozier tonight. They can't just let the routine plays go by. They got to do something special.
Here's Yearby again, finding running room and first down yardage. For more on Malik Rozier, the quarterback for the Hurricanes tonight, let's check with Allison.
I spoke to Miami offensive coordinator James Coley before the game. He said Rozier has good wheels, a strong arm, but does need to improve his accuracy. And he also said he challenged the freshman quarterback, telling him, your moment was last week and you weren't ready. They know he's prepared more for this game, of course, but they did say he'd have to work through some early jitters. But I have a feeling that hit probably knocked out any butterflies, guys.
I would say
I'm with you there.
Last week against Clemson, Rozier 7 of 22, 2 interceptions. Handoff to Mark Walton, the other of the dynamic duo running back pair for the Hurricanes. The freshman out of Booker T. Washington High School, the Miami area powerhouse of high school football.
What a drive going for the Hurricanes here, starting all the way backed up on their own goal line. Miami offensive line has really done a nice job coming off the ball, good pad level, getting people covered up, giving Yearby a chance to get going.
So the 10th play of the drive. Rozier will pitch it out, snuffed out, and play made by Jeremy Cash, the 5th-year senior defensive all-star for the Blue Devils.
You're going to see option play coming over here to the top of the screen in number 16, Jeremy Cash. He's a safety, but he plays all over the place. He leads this conference in tackles for loss, and you see why right there. He's a smart player to turn him loose at times, 14 tackles for loss, unbelievable for a defensive back, but he will play everywhere. And if he knows what you're going to do by set and field position and down and distance, he's going to get over there and make a play.
So they need the 32 to move the sticks. The dump off. Not going anywhere. Walton run out of bounds by Carlos Ray, and the Blue Devils will force the Miami kick team to come onto the field.
Duke did a really nice job sniffing that thing out. Rozier really didn't have much of a chance. Duke playing for that screenplay all the way. That hurts you sometimes in 3rd and long. They usually have somebody spying and sitting right all over your running back. It's tough.
Justin Vogel is the Miami punter. Ryan Smith is back deep, the only Blue Devil in return position. Takes a Duke bounce, and it's finally touched at the 16-yard line. There's a lot going on already in this game. Looks like it's going to be an entertaining one. Look at what's happened in this game so far already. The opening kickoff taken and fumbled by Miami. Duke was in business at the 15-yard line. They got it all the way down to 4th and goal at the 1, but the Miami defense made the stop. Then, after the Miami quarterback was injured trying to throw out of his own end zone, he led the team on an 11-play, 45-yard drive. The punt flipped the field position, and we're still scoreless with all that happening in the first 9 minutes of the first quarter.
Great energy and sudden change by Miami.
Trick or treat. Here's Thomas Sirk. Coming this way. Hit and dropped is Eric Schneider, one of the big receivers for this Duke Blue Devil team. 6'7", 240 pounds.
They are large. They have length all the way across in the receiver and tight end position. Not necessarily any burners, but a lot of playmakers and big body type guys that can get in those seams.
Handoff inside, looking for a little running room. Sean Wilson. I mentioned dynamic duos of running backs. The Blue Devils have it as well. Wilson and Shaquille Powell, the leading rushers for Duke. Stop made, setting up a 3rd and about 4. Flags coming in. And check the penalties.
That was interesting. I thought they were going to get an offsides, and then that's why Duke was taking the shot, and then I think they had a hold down here on the pass.
Yeah, I didn't see the flag for the offside. I was with you. That's why I was hesitating. So we'll see. Our referee tonight, Jerry Magellanes, leading the ACC crew.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Offsides, number 9 of the defense is declined. Pass interference on the defense, number 1 is accepted. That's a spot foul. First down.
Number 1 is Artie Burns, who has a story all his own this week.
Chad Thomas, number 9, playing DN for the Canes. A little antsy, but these guys can get off the rock. Great pressure.
Handoff going the far way to Wilson. Won't get very much. Let's talk more about the Artie Burns story with Allison.
Yeah, we've talked about the difficulty for the Miami football program this week on the field, but off the field, the most tragic of all. Artie Burns' mother, Dana Smith, passed away on Tuesday from a heart attack. She was just 44. Now, Artie grew up in Miami. Dana very close with this football team, so all of the defensive backs were at the hospital with him, as was Al Golden, the dismissed head coach. Now, remarkably, he came back to practice on Wednesday, which was a huge motivational boost for this team, and he is playing here tonight because he said this is what his mother would want. He tweeted, "Saturday will be my greatest effort because that's what you would want."
Sometimes we forget that there's human bodies inside these. We know they're heroes and great athletes, but they're still people. Amazing story there.
So 3rd down for Duke. Sirk throws over the head of his intended receiver, almost into the hands of a Miami defensive back as well. Burns defending. Anthony Nash, the intended receiver, and the Duke kick team comes on.
Al-Qadim Muhammad doing a nice job coming off the edge there. Looked like he pulled up with a little bit of a sprained ankle, but he's been getting penetration off that defensive end spot. He and Chad Thomas doing a great job.
Kicking game, one of the strong suits for Duke. A couple of senior kickers. That was the punter, Will Munday. Kicks it in the direction of Cornelder, who makes the fair catch. Hurricanes will take over the ball at their own 26-yard line.
ESPNU College Football Primetime is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. And Dish, introducing Dish's 2-year TV price lock. Just $49.99 every month for 2 years.
Hawk wanted us all to dress up in Star Wars costumes tonight. Sorry, I forgot mine. Scoreless here in a defensive struggle in Durham between Miami and Duke. Miami showing a little resilience after some adversity in the opening moments of the game.
Extremely impressed. What they've gone through this week, and to fumble the ball on the goal line, stop, and then drive it and flip the field position. Really awesome start by the Canes.
Rozier looked to run, but he was not fooling. 48, Dion Williams for the Duke Blue Devils, and a look at some of the goals on the night for the Hurricanes. And if I heard that top one there 100 times this week from the team, I've heard it once.
A lot of pressure. Obviously, coach doing a really good job of that. They got to take care of Cirque, but they're doing a nice job on the other end. And then, hey, if they got a little positive play right there, I wouldn't be surprised if Miami takes a shot here. We know they've got explosive receivers. Block it up, take a shot, see if you get a big play.
Got to hand it off to Yerby, who's going to get the corner before he gets knocked out of bounds by Cash. Yerby has had a really nice game so far carrying the ball. He's been the workhorse for the Hurricanes.
Comes into this game with kind of a journeyman performance this year. He's got 5 touchdowns, averaging a little over 5 yards, 564 yards, but he's really got to have a 100-yard-plus game here tonight for the Canes, and really for Malik Rozier to get comfortable and get into a play-action game.
Third down conversions have been a sore spot for the Hurricanes this season. They have one here. Ball out to the near side to Berrios. He'll convert. First down yardage for Miami. Braxton Berrios, the sophomore from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Really nice job on the quick screen. Watch right here. Watch the big fella get out and create a little bit of space. That's big guys moving. Bam! Take that.
Danny Isidora, the 325-pound junior right tackle. Getting a little shout out. Yerby with a nice run before he's stacked up again by Dion Williams for Duke.
James Coley, offensive coordinator for the Canes, doing a really nice job. Mixing formations up, a little bit of motion. They're actually going to try to go with a little pace of their own right here.
So Blue Devils running around, waiting to get lined up. Outside, Rashawn Scott, who we weren't even sure was going to play tonight after getting banged up last week against Clemson, has the Hurricanes near first down yardage. It'll be 3rd and short.
Yeah, Rashawn Scott injured his shoulder last week. He's the leading receiver on this team.
The keeper. And a timeout being signaled from the near side. And there is a marker down right on the 5 of 50 on the near sideline.
False start on the offense. The right guard. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Well, that hurts.
Yeah, sometimes you're trying to go fast and catch the defense off guard, and you end up hurting yourself as much as anything.
I talked about fun before. Larry Scott in his press conference on Monday, when I was down at practice on Wednesday, he talked about making sure these players understand they got to have fun playing football. He said that's why you play football, is to have fun. And with all these kids have been through, they've got to remember to have fun on the football field and cut it
relax
loose.
And yeah, exactly. There you go. That's the whole thing. Don't play not to lose. Play to win. Go make plays.
Swing pass to Yerby. Running for the marker. Did he stretch forward for it? Where's the spot?
It looked from here that he got it, but I don't know if they're going to spot it that way.
First down.
Yep. Good series of plays from Malik Rozier, the quarterback, coming in this game being very efficient. Mixing it up, some quick throws, getting the ball out of his hands, letting his playmakers run with it.
6 for 6 throwing the ball so far. He'll hand the ball again to Yerby, who can't get away from a Blue Devil at the bottom of the pile on the inside of the line. That was Brandon Boyce, 55, who got a hold of the ankles and wouldn't let go.
Boyce, a freshman. You look at this defensive line for Duke, and as you look at the recruiting efforts that Coach Cutt has gone through when he's been here, you start seeing some of those body types in that D-line. You like to see a little bigger, thicker guy that can plug it up inside.
And they come from everywhere, too. Greenwich, Connecticut, Shelby, North Carolina, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Rozier swings it outside, off the hands and dropped of Walton. Incomplete pass as the ball was moving forward.
They're going to have to get a little pump and go off that quick screen because Duke is triggering that, jumping and getting all over those plays. They need a little play action and get over the top.
So 3rd and 10. They're 3 of 4 on 3rd down tonight. Rozier had the long outside pass earlier to convert when he got the whack in the end zone to Waters.
There's Jeremy Cash right there. He's the guy you got to keep your eye on. He's going to walk up on the line of scrimmage. He's a blitzer. Now he drops into coverage.
Coming near side. Nice reach in and tip away by Breon Borders. 31 for Duke. And it'll be 4th down.
There you see where that timing just doesn't quite come together with a new quarterback and receiver. That's a comeback route against man coverage that Brad Kaya probably has thrown a ton of times. Malik just hasn't got as many reps on it.
So Vogelon for his 2nd punt. Ryan Smith back deep to receive for the Blue Devils. Smith averaging about 8 yards, but he's got a 69-yarder. Where punt returns are concerned this year. And the center's head drops as he's
All-star offense, number 6, 5 yards, 4th down.
Herb Waters.
Yeah, he's down inside playing a guard. Got a little bit antsy. That can be a little bit troubling because you got a chance to pin him back here. Now that 5 yards gives you a little more room to operate as a returner.
Kick off the side of his foot. And will go out of bounds just inside the 20-yard line. Blue Devil ball still scoreless here. The ACC on ESPN tonight from Durham and Brooksfield at Wallace Wade Stadium, where Miami and Duke are scoreless with half a minute to go in the first quarter. Don't forget, tomorrow morning from 8 a.m. to noon, it's College Football Sunday here on ESPNU. We'll talk about the day that was in college football. Some interesting games going on today, tonight, and all of it we'll recap tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. to noon here on ESPNU. So the Duke offense back on the field, led by the redshirt junior quarterback Thomas Sirk. Not been very much production out of the Blue Devil offense so far. The handoff, fighting but not getting much. Jalea Duncan, and a flag on the field. And a stoppage here.
Personal foul, face mask, number 9, defense. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's too bad because Chad Thomas right there, you see he's shaking up a little bit. They actually had a nice stun in where he came from that defensive end and whipped right inside and had a chance to make a negative play.
And Duncan going to get the attention of the Miami training staff at the end of that one. He had a pile of bodies wind up on top of him when it was done.
You're going to see him whipping down inside there. Hard to tell. Couldn't quite get a look at it. I don't know if he got him around the collar, actually right on the face mask.
Yeah. But up and headed off the field. They move the ball forward to 15 yards. And so it's out to the 33. With, as you see, less than half a minute to go in this first quarter. Very fast-moving first quarter here. A lot of running plays. A lot dominated by the Hurricane offense.
Both teams want to run the ball. That's kind of their mentality. Start in that running game and then work up from there.
Sirk to keep. He'll get a few, but not much. And so far, that Miami defense has been very stingy, including in that 4th and goal stop that they got early in the game after the turnover on the opening kickoff.
Number 8, the other defensive end, Al-Qadim Muhammad, having a nice game. He did a good job whipping inside there, getting after Thomas.
Parents' weekend here at Duke, and Halloween as well. There will be tricks or treats for the homesteading Blue Devils. You knew I'd say it sometime tonight. Come on. ESPNU's college football primetime tonight from Durham, where Duke and Miami enter the second quarter scoreless. Alan Beskett, Dan Hawkins, Allison Williams, and our college football primetime crew with you. 2nd and 7, Thomas Sirk and the Blue Devil offense looking to get something going after really not finding much room to work in the first quarter. Sirk throws and a nice pitch and catch. It's Eric Snyder who has the grab.
Eric had a great game last week. He comes into this thing with he's 6'7". That's a big target running down that seam.
Check that. That's Braxton Deaver, 89, not 88. My apologies.
He's only 6'5".
Yeah, only. So across midfield. Sirk to keep. Nice game there. Thomas Sirk leads the team in rushing and in passing. Passing naturally as the quarterback. A look at some of the goals on the night for the Blue Devils.
They've got to prevent the explosive plays from Miami, which actually they have not taken one. And then Miami's actually running the ball pretty well early in this game.
And David Cutcliffe told us yesterday it was crucial for Duke to run the ball. There's the pass to Max McCaffrey, who's down across the 25-yard line. Ball comes out. Are they marking him down? They're not marking him down. That's a fumble and a Hurricane ball. Now they're talking about it.
The ruling on the field, the pass was completed and fumbled and recovered by Miami. First down.
So second turnover in the game if it stands, one for each side.
Definitely something that both of these teams take seriously, taking care of the football. Hard to tell exactly when that ball came out.
Oh, she's back on the ground already. Let's see. Down there. Where's the ball?
The previous play is under further review.
Watch there. Now, his back's on the ground. He's still got the ball in his arm. Then it comes out. I think that's going to be turned over, Hawk.
I think you're right. Yep, I think you're right. Miami comes into this game plus 11 in the turnover category. Of course, they turned it over in the first kickoff return.
Yeah, that's got to be overturned.
Coach Cutt and the Blue Devils very, very conscientious about taking care of the football.
Andrew Panucci is the replay official tonight. Having a look at it now. So the ball still, in my opinion, still tucked firmly in his possession. There, he's down. And now watch the rip by Jermaine Grace, which brings the ball out.
Well, that famous word, is it indisputable?
Yep.
In our mind, yes, but we're not in the replay booth. Hurricanes have done a great job early in this game, overcoming the travel and the turnover and all the adversity we talked about. It's taken a while for the Blue Devils to get going. This is the first time they've really attacked him down the seam in the passing game.
See, there, he's down, and that ball is still firmly in his arm, in my opinion.
This is where they went with, if they went with my idea of the official that's part of the crew in the booth, in a booth, just calling it live, then we'd be moving on, I think.
After review, the ruling on the field stands as called. First down, Miami.
Okay. Beats me.
Like I said, It's not what we think. It's what the guy over there thinks.
Well, one turnover apiece in this one, and Miami will take over the ball at its own 13-yard line.
Miami needs to come back with an explosive play of their own. They can't just keep dinking and dunking and getting in the screen play, because Duke is jumping those plays. Running game's been good early on. Starting out empty here.
Malik Rozier, the quarterback, in for Brad Kaya tonight. Takes a shot. Far sideline, caught by Herb Waters. And out of bounds, and a nice gain on first down.
That was a sweet throw. Good timing throw. Confidence builder for Malik. You see, going to run a corner out. Good separation. That's where you can say what you want. Boy, these guys got athletes now, and that's scary. And Duke knows it. Coach Cutt knows it. These guys get fired up and get on a roll a little bit. They went flat for whatever reason against Clemson. These guys get hot a little bit. Look out, because there's athletes.
Rozier 7 of 9 throwing so far. This one he'll hand off to Yearby. Fighting for the corner, but dragged down and hung on to. Nice play there by Britton Greer, 22 for the Blue Devils, the 50-year senior out of Charlotte.
Yearby's been impressive because they're trying to run a little power play off the right-hand side. It was blocked well, but it was jammed up, and he got some yards outside, and that was not where that play was designed to go.
Word from the video replay booth, Hawk, not enough evidence to overturn the call on the field. And the handoff again to Yearby. Grabbed down around the ankles by Breon Borders and dragged down. It'll set up third down.
Miami being patient with that running game because of the explosive receivers for the Canes. Duke really is forced to get 7 people into coverage, and that frees up your running game just a little bit.
3 of 5 on third down conversions for the Hurricanes tonight. You see they need the 46.
Waters down here at the bottom of the screen. He's been a go-to guy tonight.
Nice. Over the middle. David Njoku has the first down and has the ball down to the 30-yard line of Duke.
Great seam route, throwing it over Dwayne Norman, number 40 for Duke. Was a safety, converted to linebacker, but coming back down the seam. Sweet little throw. Malik's done a nice job here, really not turning the ball over. Timing, anticipation. And of course, you got to give Coach Coley a little credit for dialing it up.
They spotted at the 33. Flags come in, a free play. They take the shot down the sideline, into the end zone. Touchdown Miami, Herb Waters.
Offside, defense, number 99. Penalties decline, touchdown.
How about the pitch and catch from Malik Rozier to Herb Waters on the free play when the offside flags were out?
Yep, good call by you, Alan. Everybody's going vertical. I think they got him offsides. What an accurate throw. I'll tell you the other thing is, what a really nice job by Herb Waters. Really being relaxed there, not getting big eyes and letting that ball kind of slip in there. Normally the DB will anticipate the catch and get his hand in there.
Michael Badgley with the successful point after try, and the first points in this game come off a turnover. Miami marches down the field, and the pass into the end zone, 33 yards to Waters from Rozier.
These are the games. Nothing else matters. Block it all out. Block it all out. Right here, right now is all that matters. Stay in the moment, love each other, play together, have fun, play with passion, play with energy, and cut loose. That's all I want you to do. Cut it loose. Cut it loose. And
Larry Scott, the interim head coach of the Miami Hurricanes. Before his team left the locker room to come onto the field, they lead 7-0 here at Duke now. Of course, suffering the worst loss in program history last week. Head coach Al Golden fired, losing starting quarterback Brad Kaya, and now turning a turnover into 7 points on the road at Duke.
That's where you train.
Kick return by Devon Edwards. He mentioned, Larry Scott mentioned, their goals are still ahead of them. Miami still has the opportunity to be in this race for the ACC Coastal Division title. They're a game or two behind, but they kind of are in this round robin. He mentioned all of the games are ahead of us now. The three teams that were undefeated starting the weekend, North Carolina, Pittsburgh, and Duke, plus Miami, all still play each other as they go throughout these final 5 weeks of the season. And these are, to quote Larry Scott, the games that matter. Cirque throws, far side falls incomplete in the direction of Sean Wilson.
Duke fans don't like it, but just playing hard, not sure exactly what's going on, so he's going to pick it up and run it in just in case.
So Duke needing to get something going here. Not having the ball in their possession very much in this one. They throw outside again. Fighting for some yardage on the far side was Shaquille Powell. He was cracked over there by Jaquan Johnson, number 4 for the Hurricanes.
Wholesale substitutions coming in on third down. Miami really running to the football, playing fast and physical. A lot of popping going on. Done a nice job keeping Thomas Cirque under wraps. They need to keep an eye on the quarterback, particularly here on third and a manageable about 6.
Near side, did he catch it? No, just out of the reach of Max McCaffrey, and it'll bring up 4th down and bring on the Duke punting team.
A lot of man coverage by Miami. This is where guys have to win one-on-one matchups. You got to get in and out of your cut. You got to create a little separation, and when you got a little athletic mismatch, it's hard.
So 2 key plays in this game. One, the 4th and goal stop by the Miami defense that kept Duke from getting into the end zone on the opening drive of the game. And then the turnover that wasn't overturned that Miami, and a bad punt by Monday.
Highly unusual. Will Monday's a good punter.
Yeah, the 5th-year senior who just had what might have been one of the toughest kicks he's ever had. 11-yard net on the punt, and Miami's going to be in business again deep in Duke territory.
ESPNU College Football Primetime is brought to you by Fitbit. Find your fit at Fitbit.com. And Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Miami with a 7-0 lead on Duke, and all of the breaks in this game going the Hurricanes' way so far. A shanked punt by the veteran and very good punter Will Monday of Duke sets Miami up at the Blue Devil 35-yard line. Malik Rozier subbing for Brad Kaya at quarterback. Will throw. Stacey Coley will catch and run. And for more, let's check in downstairs with Allison.
Well, on this Hurricane sideline, you've seen a lot of camaraderie. This team really coming together, like head coach Larry Scott asked of them. After Rozier scored that touchdown, everyone from special teams, defense, offense, all coming up, mobbing him, congratulating him. For James Coley, their offensive coordinator, really working on the mental side with Rozier, asking him questions like, if they bring the star, what do you do? What's your first read there? Trying to break in this new quarterback.
Yeah, it's always, as Walton takes it up the middle, Jeremy Cash in on another tackle. It's always a challenge, right? And Hawk, you and I have talked about this before. So you take a 18, 19-year-old kid and you throw him out there in a stadium and on national TV and you say, okay, be calm and execute, go.
Yeah, he's young and given everything that they've gone through, so really good job by the whole staff. And I've been really impressed with Coley's plan and a whole variety of formations and motions and plays, and being able to get rid of the ball quickly for Malik, allowing him to have some success, taking a few shots when necessary.
Like here, just over the outstretched hands and a step or so away from Herb Waters, who caught the touchdown ball a little bit ago.
He gets a little more experience. He's going to throw that ball just a little flatter outside and let Herb bend it and get out there and catch that ball.
So 3rd down here for Miami.
Really done a nice job keeping Duke off balance, and particularly Jeremy Cash. He showed up early on in that first drive. Jeremy located in the back end Doesn't appear like he's going to blitz this time. There he is up the top of your screen. Now he's coming back down there on the line of scrimmage. Going to bring him.
Throw near side into the hands of Stacy Coley. He'll have the first down, stumbling toward the goal line. Did he get there before he hit the ground? No, they'll mark him down inside the 1-yard line.
Second time they've run that smoke screen in this drive. Threw it away from Jeremy Cash. He didn't have a chance to get in on it. Good blocking. He is going to be close, I think, when this thing's tough to tell a little bit. His knee hits right there.
Yep.
Where's that ball? Look at the shadow. Boy, not sure the angle exactly, but yeah.
Yeah, well, that's it. The camera angle. That's from the back of the end zone. So.
Coach Scott's wanting to get looked at.
First and goal from inside the 1. Plunging toward the goal line, looking for the goal line was Mark Walton. He'll be stopped at about the 1-foot line. Guess who? Jeremy Cash.
Have not seen Yerby back in there. Thought he might have left a little bit dinged up on that last drive. You think he's got a little bit more juice. Maybe still on the sideline. They're waiting for a while to get this. They may have to take a timeout here at some point. Walter Tucker coming in at tailback, number 44, and they give it to him. He almost turned it over.
Ball is out in the back of the end zone. Fallen on by a Hurricane. Touchdown, Miami.
Yeah, it was coming out of there loose. I said he almost turned it over, and I thought he got trapped. That ball skidded through there. Got a new running back into the game. Mechanics not quite the same.
The runner, being near the goal line, was fumbled into the end zone and recovered by Miami. Touchdown.
66, Sonny Adogwu finds the ball and gets on it. And he will have the touchdown for the Hurricanes.
Hurricanes getting a few breaks here early on. Probably wish they'd have had a few of these last week against Clemson, but they're getting a few things to go their way early.
So Badgley on here for the point after, which will go through. So goal line plunge that winds up being a fumble into the end zone and a Hurricane touchdown. One of the big guys, 318-pound Sonny Adogwu, gets the 6. Let's take a look at our championship drive update brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Ohio State, J.T. Barrett arrested for driving while impaired, suspended for a game by the team. Florida just pounding Georgia earlier today. Will clinch the SEC East win with a win next week. And Clemson, of interest to ACC fans, roughing up NC State across town earlier this afternoon. Most yards NC State has allowed since 2012. And Clemson now rolling into its matchup next week against Florida State. So the Miami offense.
There's Joe Yerby over there. We thought maybe he was dinged up a little bit. He appears like he's okay. They're saying he's okay. We're just not sure why he wasn't in there.
Miami offense getting it done. And now Devon Edwards with the ball for Duke. He'll get wrapped up and knocked down just across the 20-yard line. Brendan Fitzgerald's keeping an eye on things for us tonight in the studio.
Alan, thanks very much. An emotional week. Now time for Shore to Shore, brought to you by Joe's Crab Shack. An emotional week for the Minnesota football program. Jerry Kill stepped down for health concerns. Tracy Claeys is the interim head coach. Minnesota came out strong, took a 3-0 lead. They trailed Michigan 14-3.
All right, Brendan, thanks. So Duke takes over at its 22-yard line, trailing by 2 touchdowns. And Thomas Sirk going to air it out near sideline. I was looking for a holding flag. I don't see one on the field. The intended receiver was TJ Ramming. He was covered there and grabbed onto just a little bit by Ryan Mays.
A little bumping and grinding. A lot of line movement going on up inside by the Hurricanes. Picked up well by the Duke O-line on that last play.
Inside and grinding out some tough yards was Sean Wilson. And it will bring up third down quickly for the Blue Devils, and a hurricane down on the field. That's Dion Bush.
He made the big play on the kickoff here a second ago. They're asking him to run down out of that safety spot. He's second on the team in tackles. This is a physical football game.
Bush, the senior out of Miami, and holding that left shoulder.
That really is probably the best run play that Duke has had tonight. This front of Miami's really done a nice job up inside without really crowding the box. Yeah, got his head twisted a little bit. Sometimes you get stretched out. That ends up being a stinger. And those are Zowies. Look like he's okay. He probably end up getting a little stinger. Miami defense doing a great job tonight. Another critical third down. Duke needs to get something going here.
So it's third down. Duke is 0 for 3 trying to convert on third down tonight.
Haven't seen as many running plays with Thomas Sirk, the quarterback. Great opportunity in here.
He'll take a shot in the direction of Max McCaffrey. It'll fall incomplete. He pops up looking for a flag.
We got one over here on this side.
Personal foul, number 1, defense. Unnecessary roughness. 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's on Artie Burns.
He was playing a little man coverage there. Had him on the sidelines, ended up running him, and the ball was away from him. I think that's why they called the play.
So it moves the chains, gives the Blue Devils a first down at their own 44-yard line.
A couple of shots served their purpose, helped get that running game going a little bit.
There's Wilson on the inside for about 4. So the Blue Devils have struggled a little bit here at home as a ranked team in trying to keep those rolls going.
Back in '94.
Yeah. Sirk with time. And that first down yardage. And the flag will come in late. And more flags will come in.
Well, I'd have to hear it on the replay now. In his defense and Artie's defense just a little bit. I'm not sure that they were all over the whistle. Clearly the forward progress had been stopped.
Terrence Alls was the receiver, 86 for Duke. We'll see what they sort out here. All right, so let's see what Jerry Megalenis and the crew have sorted out.
There are 2 fouls after the play. Unsportsmanlike on number 1 of the defense. Unsportsmanlike on number 29 of the offense. Those penalties will offset. The end of the play results in a first down.
Listen for the whistle here on the replay. And again, just in Artie's defense here, I don't know. He was trying to complete the tackle. See, he's going down. Where's the whistle? Where's the whistle, Alan? Blow me out. I'm with you, Artie. I'm with you. Blow the whistle. Forward progress was blow the whistle. The whistle came out when the guy was on his way down.
fighting for some yardage inside was Jalay Duncan. And a good gain there for the Duke running back. Duncan, who missed the first 3 games of this year and all of last season, has the ball again, and he gets twisted around and hit quickly there by Jermaine Grace for the Hurricanes. That'll bring up 3rd and short for Duke.
Have seen some line movement up inside defensively. Artie Burns checking back in at corner. Not as much blitzing against this running quarterback.
First down yardage for Duke. Jalay Duncan, suspended from the team for all of last year due to academic violations, then came back, readmitted to the program, had an injury problem that forced him to miss the beginning of this season. He's come back into the team, and we see flags on the field here, and we'll stop and we'll check what the penalty call is.
Miami trying to get some substitution going here, and it's tough when you go against a fast pace.
Illegal substitution on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Tough to sub on the far hash. You see right there, guys coming in. Don't quite get off the field. Muhammad still caught out there outside the numbers.
And more whistles and more flags. This will be a false start on the Blue Devils.
False start. Offense. 76. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Gabe Brandner, the left tackle for Duke.
Coach Cutt very sensitive to the penalty area. Something he's worked very hard against as well. Miami crowding the line with a few more defenders on this down.
Looking for some yards after the catch was Jonell Barnes, but nice job on the outside by Jamal Carter to keep him from getting away.
Really impressed with how Miami's running to the football here. And then, as you mentioned, Carter did a good job just getting him held up a little bit. That could have turned into a big gain.
Getting away, getting first down yardage, Shaquille Powell.
Wow, he must have, his jersey must be covered in Vaseline, because he went into a dark hole there, and I have no idea how he, look at that, bang.
Yeah.
Good leverage, good pad level.
Powell has it again. Hangs on through the strip attempt. And a nice gain on first down for the senior from Las Vegas.
205 pounds, but great leg drive, great pad level, O-line getting off. Miami needs to get their pads down.
Best drive of the game for the Blue Devils. Sirk keeps this one. They'll get a few inside. Jermaine Grace wraps him up. That's 5 down around the ankles.
This is their personality. Now, they took a couple of shots downfield, and even though they didn't hit them, that was able to get a little bit of pressure off of that line of scrimmage and help the running game get going.
So first and goal for Duke. Flag on the far side of the field. Nothing there for Powell this time on the run. Let's check the penalty. I think this one might go against the Hurricanes.
Offside, defense, number 9. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Chad Thomas a little anxious on the far side. So remember, if you weren't with us at the very beginning of the game, Miami fumbled the opening kickoff. Duke drove down and had the ball at the 1-yard line and couldn't punch it in. Here they are in tight again on this Hurricane defense. Sirk hit as he throws. Ball will fall incomplete.
Great pressure. Miami crowding the line of scrimmage. Too many get blocked. Going to see pressure come from the top of the screen. Good effort, good disruption. Got to play good, tight red zone defense. Force Duke to kick a field goal.
Yeah, that's going to be a false start on the left side of the Duke offensive line. It'll set them back 5.
False start, offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Gabe Brandner with his second false start penalty of this offensive possession.
Duke doing a nice job with the snap count. Sorry, Alan. They're doing a nice job because they're keeping Miami off balance, and well, they should, just with that athleticism there.
Just in terms of the second false start penalty, who can blame him? Because these Miami front defenders are pinning their ears back and pushing. So back to the original line of scrimmage. Cirk with time. Throws into the back of the end zone through the hands of Anthony Nash.
Good throw. You got to be careful a little bit of throwing that thing back into the middle. He had Nash on the back shoulder. See these defensive ends, Thomas and Muhammad, doing a nice job getting pressure. Miami elected to play for coverage that time, and they were still able to get some leakage and pressure with the front four.
So 3rd and goal from the 9. Cirk throws by a defender. It'll go incomplete. Threw into the direction of John L. Barnes, and it was Cornelder, 29, for the Hurricanes, who was there on defense, and the field goal unit will come on.
Really nice stand. See him right here. Good eyes on the quarterback. Trying to play that back shoulder. He was out of bounds as it was.
Yep, hat went down. So the field goal kicker, Ross Martin, is on. 88%, had been perfect on the season until he missed 2 last week in the 4 overtime win against Virginia Tech. He will knock this one through from 27 yards, and Duke is on the board. 14-3 late in the second quarter. Miami leads. So many great college football games to watch. What to do if you have to be away from home? Well, take it with you. The Watch ESPN app or watchespn.com. A regular staple in the Bestwick Hawk mode of transportation to the stadium on Saturdays with someone else driving. If you're out and about tonight, you might be watching us on Watch ESPN from here in Durham. On Halloween night, maybe you're trick-or-treating. Miami leading Duke 14-3. Blue Devils, for a second time in this game, had the ball inside the Miami 5-yard line and did not come away with a touchdown. Ross Martin kicks. And Mark Walton takes it at the 6. Flags down. There's a marker out at the 30. Well, they're moving it down about the 26-yard line. We'll check the penalty.
This is the Coach Cut philosophy of trying to kick that ball high and not get a touchback and try to get down there and get it inside the 25.
During the return, holding number 18. That penalty is 10 yards, first down Miami.
All right, while they set the ball, let's check in the studio with Brendan.
Hey, Alan, coming up at halftime, Charles Arbuckle joins me. We talk about the suspension to Ohio State quarterback J.T. Barrett. Sean McGuire doing a nice job pinch hitting for Florida State in another win. And also Oklahoma State, appropriately wearing black and orange today, puts up more than 70 points in a big win. Happy Halloween, Alan.
Brendan, my treat's being here calling a football game. Thank you much. Miami up 14-3, 3 minutes and 15 seconds to go here in quarter number 2. They'll start at their own 12-yard line after the penalty, with Malik Rozier handing off to Joseph Yearby, who just about have first down yardage on first down.
We've really had a lot of success running the football on the edges of Duke out in that off-tackle area tonight, and Yearby's running hard, and the offensive line is doing a nice job coming off the ball. They need to put another good drive after that backed-up drive they had in the first quarter together here.
9 yards on first down will open up a lot of options for you for second down. They'll hand it off to Yearby again, and he'll move the chains before he's knocked out of bounds by Dwayne Norman. Yearby's had himself quite a first down. He's been the workhorse. That's his 12th carry for Miami so far, Hawk.
Duke is going to have to take a look at this edge play, because that's where they're getting the yards. No contained player out on the edge, particularly into the boundary, and Yearby continues to find it.
Here you see he's up to 72 yards. already in this first half. He's averaging 80 yards a game. Rozier to throw. He'll come near side on a nice move to pick up additional yardage after the catch. Braxton Berrios with his second grab of the night.
Tough sometimes to come out of that bootleg and throw it to your left-hand side. But Malik does a nice job getting his shoulders around, getting after Jeremy Cash there. You see, put him in a little bind. Quarterback was coming at him. He was in coverage as well. Again, really impressed with the mix-up of plays, the calling of plays, formations, motions, and really complimenting here so Malik can get the ball out of his hands quickly.
Second and short again. This will be Walton. There are penalty flags down. He'll be chased all the way to the far side of the field, and now we'll see which way they move the ball.
Personal foul, chop block, number 73 and number 52, offense. 15-yard penalty, second down.
Trevor Darling and Casey McDermott, the left tackle and guard respectively. You can't be engaged high and cut somebody low.
This often happens. You're going to check over here on the right-hand side there. Yeah. McDermott goes down low to cut block, and unfortunately, Trevor Darling is trying to get him cut off on the backside. Good call by the officials there.
So they'll back it up to the 30, check at the 27-yard line. Inside a minute and a half to go, second quarter. Rozier looking deep. And he and the receiver were not on the same page. That was Mark Walton. And a minute to remind you that Friday you can watch the Geico ESPN High School Football Showcase. Two Georgia crosstown rivals squaring off. It's McEachern and Hillgrove. Friday night, 8 Eastern, ESPN, and streaming live on Watch ESPN. So Malik Rozier subbing for Brad Kaya. And his numbers on this first half tonight, remember he got whacked in his own end zone throwing a ball on the first series of the game. Had to go out for a play, but has done just fine, thank you much.
Thought they might run it on that last down just to see if they can't get a little bit of clock running because you're behind the chains and backed up.
Dump off the screen to Yearby. Runs into his own man, gets shoved forward, but they'll be well shy of the first down.
Duke's doing a great job of getting a spy on those screens in third and long. Kind of tough to spring them back when you got a defender right there on him. Great timeout on defense by Duke. Plenty of time with 1:07 and a couple timeouts left to get something going.
Well, Malik Rozier, the redshirt freshman from Mobile, Alabama, who had only played in 4 games in his Miami career prior to this week, and he's really done a nice job in this first half with the Hurricane offense.
Yeah, he sure has. He hasn't turned it over. Took a shot on that third down play there. You see he's hit a few shots down the field. Been really accurate. The last shot they took, I think there was a miscommunication on the route. You see him having a little discussion over there right now, and I think that was the problem. But he's been pretty accurate. Showed some toughness. Getting the ball out of his hands, not taking sacks.
And really, Hawk, all things considered, with what the Hurricanes have been through the week. The worst loss in program history last Saturday. Al Golden, the coach, fired on Sunday, having to regroup. One of their teammates losing a parent during the week. As whistles and flags will rearrange the starting point of this one. Really, all things considered, Larry Scott, you heard his speech in the locker room before the game, firing up his team. They've come out and they've responded in this one and played well.
Yeah,
false start, offense, number 6, 5 yards. Fourth down.
Herb Waters there.
Yeah, second time he's had a procedure call on punt team.
Check that. Jamal Carter, the other number 6 for the Hurricanes. 10th accepted penalty against Miami already in this game. Duke came after it.
Bangs it.
Nice kick. Trying to make something happen was Ryan Smith. And the Blue Devils will get the ball at their own 24-yard line with less than a minute to go in this first half. Now, one of the things that's a must when you come to Duke for a football game, and there happens to be a basketball game next door at Cameron Indoor Stadium, is to go check it out. And that's what Hawkeye did last night.
I got in there. I beat the freshman. I had to learn all the cheers though. My man Jake there next door to me. We were getting it going. I was not allowed to get next to Coach K though, but it was fun.
Wow,
what a great environment packed in there.
So Hawks Eye Cameron Crazies last night. Parents Weekend, neat atmosphere, even though it was the first preseason game for the Blue Devils as they played Florida Southern. Now for the Duke football team, the offense that struggled. They've had the ball inside the 5 twice and haven't gotten a touchdown out of it, looking to see if they can make something happen here in the last minute of the first half.
Look down the seam. That's where they've had success throwing the football.
In and out of the hands of David Reeves. Thoughts on what you've seen from the Blue Devil offense in this first half so far?
Well, I think Miami defense has done generally a nice job. They got the running game going, and that happened, I think, because of the shots that Duke took to get the coverage off of them.
Circle run. Tripped up by a shoelace. Jermaine Grace made a tackle that might have saved a much larger gain.
Yeah, caught Miami blitzing up inside, and somebody did not get in a gap outside on the right-hand area, and Thomas took advantage of it.
Sirks throws to McCaffrey. He'll run out of bounds at the 42-yard line. 34 seconds to go. Had one of the Hurricane players trying to get off the field as that ball was being snapped. Looked like he was holding a shoulder.
Rushing 4.
Sirk taking a shot. Nash. And flags.
Pass interference, defense, number 3. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Tracy Howard, the senior defensive back, got a hand wrapped around the shoulder pads of Nash.
Good call by the official right there.
Saved a lot of yardage, too.
Well, you're probably better off taking it, particularly in this situation, pass interference rather than a touchdown throw.
2 timeouts left for Duke. Sirk throws near side. That'll be Deaver. He'll be dropped inbounds. And there is a Miami player down on the field. Clock stopped while they reset the chains, but now the clock stopped for the injury. That is Howard. Just flagged for the penalty. Who took a whack on that one.
Yeah, it makes it tough. They've been rotating here with Cornell there at corner, but Corn is also the nickel, so might put him in a little bit bind personnel-wise what they want to do.
While they attend to Tracy Howard, quick moment to remind you that the top wrestlers in college square off on the mats in the NWCA All-Star Classic. It kicks off the season, and we'll have several NCAA champions being tested. It's a dual meet format, and the main event matches begin at 5 Eastern on ESPNU. Also, will stream live on Watch ESPN. That coming up on Sunday. 23 seconds, 2 timeouts for the Blue Devils at the 32-yard line of Miami. This would be huge if they could get the ball in the end zone here. Sirk throws over the middle. Wrapped up and then wrapped again with Shaquille Powell. And they whistle the timeout with 15 seconds remaining.
Timeout, Duke. Their second timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Okay, we got 1 timeout here, but really with 15 seconds, I mean, you've definitely got 2 plays, maybe 3. You got to be careful. So you need to be aggressive in terms of pushing this ball down the field. You got to feel like you're in field goal range right here. But I think you've got a chance to get a couple of shots, try to get out over on the sideline. You'd like to save your timeout for the field goal. But if you can move the sticks and stop the clock or get yourself out of bounds and then take a shot into the end zone, and if nothing happens on those 2 plays, kick the field goal.
Allison?
Well, I think Duke is definitely looking for a touchdown here because you could tell when they had to settle for a field goal. Last time out, they were really frustrated afterwards. In fact, running back Jalea Duncan got the entire offense together and said, guys, we've got to finish drives. We need to go out there and we need to get 7. We got to do what we're capable of and finish these drives. We'll see if they can do that here.
All right, 15 seconds, 1 timeout from the 25-yard line. Thomas Sirk, 12 of 20 passing. Throws over the middle again. First down yardage. Shaquille Powell wrestled to the ground. And they'll stop the clock with 9 seconds to go.
Okay, so there goes your timeout. You really need to try to get a ball into the end zone, and if it doesn't happen, then kick the field goal. But they're going to go ahead and go right now. Looks like it.
Yep, field goal kicker Ross Martin.
I think you have time if you want to take a shot into the end zone here. It needs to be quick, and you got to be smart with it. But I think you could take a shot into the end zone and still have time to come back and kick the field goal. This is the safest way to go for sure.
David Cutcliffe does not appear to be happy with a choice or two made by Thomas Sirk there.
Well, I think he's looking at that check down route. Again, you know that's going to be a clock eater. I think he wanted something outside. Yeah, he's saying with his arm action there, he's bending it, meaning they got vertical routes. Miami was kind of in a 2-shell there, so you got benders bending inside behind that play, and I think that's where he wanted Sirk to go. We talked to the coaches yesterday. They thought there was still room to grow with Thomas just in terms of his reads and progressions and what he can do in the throwing game.
So Ross Martin, the senior kicker. Oh, dear. Missed it. Wide right. Only the 3rd miss of the season for Martin. 2 of them last week against Virginia Tech. And that one, when the Blue Devils could really have used some points at the end of this first half.
They gave him a pressure kick yesterday in practice, and he hooked it. He hooked it left. This one he pushed right.
So a half of what might have been for the Blue Devils. On the very first possession of the game, had the ball at the Miami 1-yard line, didn't punch it into the end zone. Had the ball at the Miami 4-yard line in the second quarter, didn't punch it into the end zone, settled for the field goal. And then on this closing drive of this second quarter, tried to settle for the field goal, and it missed. And Malik Rozier has done a solid job for interim coach Larry Scott, and Miami leads 14-3. We'll hear from Scott and Allison during halftime. For now, let's send it to Brendan back in the studio with our ESPNU halftime report.